Keir Starmer apparently today is going to announce a plan to root out benefit fraudsters by giving investigators new powers to access information about people's bank accounts. This is
Yes.
dystopian, like genuine authoritarian police state shit.
It is unbelievably authoritarian and, like you say, dystopian and just awful. But it's also, on top of that, another signal that they've just become the Tory party. Rather than going after giving powers to investigate, say, the bank accounts of the incredibly wealthy who steal trillions in tax every year, we're going to go after people claiming slightly more on PIP, which costs us virtually fuck all by comparison. So again,
Yep.
trying to reinforce that narrative that actually the people who are harming you aren't pinstripe wankers in the city of London stealing everything. No, it's some desperate person who's trying to get an extra couple of quid in order to be able to heat their fucking house.
Because again, these people are just Thatcherites. That's it.
Yeah,
They are trying
yeah.
to divide people between the deserving and undeserving poor. It's been what the Tories have done since time immemorial. It's genuinely the most revolting thing I think I've seen this government do so far. And there's lots of competition. In his speech, apparently, he talked about, like, defeating the rise of populism. Yeah, he's defeating the rise of populism by just doing what they want. By having
Yes.
petty crackdowns on the disabled and the undeserving poor and against asylum seekers and against
Well,
migrants and refugees.
yeah, he's going to destroy populism, which is essentially the idea of a corrupt, overweening, bloated aristocracy forcing their shit upon everyone else and how that's bad by being, and here's the clever bit, a bloated, corrupt aristocracy that's going to crack down on people for doing basically anything ever. That will
Yeah.
definitely get rid of populism. Honest.
Absolutely, absolutely. The worst thing it does as well is that it actually vindicates a lot of the weirdo conspiracy theorists who think that, like, digital currency is a way of the government trying to spy on you.
15-minute cities!
And the worst part is none of these people are going to spot this because they believe that that law is only bad if it will be weaponized against them as good,
Yeah.
honest, hard-working taxpayers or whatever, rather than the shirkers and the benefit cheats who are pretending to be disabled. That's the biggest thing I got when I posted my video about how the right-wingers are hypocritical about getting mad about legitimately mad about the means test on the winter fuel payment, when they were the ones absolutely cheering and whooping and hollering, just like Ian Duncan Smith was in the House of Commons, over stripping away of the welfare state during the Conservative Party period, to the point at which UN dignitaries described us as violating the human rights of the disabled, which this will also further do. I expect a
Yes.
human rights challenge on the government literally spying on people's bank accounts. But because these conspiracy theorists who get mad at digital currencies only care if they think that the target of government crackdowns are illegitimate, i.e. them, they're going to ignore this. They're going to ignore this blatant, this monstrous, this absolutely rancid state authoritarian snooping into people's private life, because they have essentially allowed Labour to buy into the rhetoric that some people are unpeople. They're not worthy of being treated with any degree of sincerity by the state. And the right-wing populists who he says that he wants to be able to defang will love it. They'll fucking lap this shit up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, as always, Britain, and especially the politically powerful in Britain, always focus on entirely the wrong thing. Rather than focusing on this actual horrific infringement on people's basic rights and civil liberties, they'll go after fake shit like, oh, George Soros is using 15-minute cities to make me eat the bugs, right? Just nonsense, gibberish. Or the recent thing we've had about gifts and donations. Now, I'm not suggesting that the things that have been exposed haven't been worthwhile to expose, because they are corruption. But what's much worse is the 4 million given by a hedge fund that invests in oil exploration and all the rest of it, giving money to the Labour Party just before the election. Like, there's literally no possible way that isn't just a quid pro quo for them to get something from the government incoming. Like, there's no way that's anything other than just a blatantly corrupt thing that happened. And that doesn't get mentioned at all in the press.
And of course, I think that this will get mentioned without any qualifying information, such as this interesting fact that came across my feed today, which is that the fraud rate for personal independence payment, PIP, is literally 0%. And so what this will
Jesus
do,
Christ.
this bill, which is literally called the Fraud, Error and Debt Bill to modernise the DWP, is going to, as this person points out, is going to terrify people and continually to perpetuate the public's misperception that benefit fraud is a huge problem in this country, when tax fraud, tax avoidance is a genuine problem in this country. People actually do not claim that much in benefit fraud. It's completely unheard of, especially amongst the disabled, who really don't have any amount of fraudulent claimants at all, really.
I want to scream at the British people that your enemy is not someone claiming fucking benefits, okay? Your enemy has an account in the Cayman Islands. That person is fucking you.
Exactly. Okay, they might as well just open workhouses at this point. Like, this is how genuinely monstrous this government is. And
it's getting there, yeah.
And what was even worse as well is that, I don't know if you saw, there was a big consultation they did over the Conservative Party's proposed changes to disability to try and replace cash payments with vouchers and be more draconian in assessments. There was Mel Stride's baby with the Ian Duncan Smith's think tank, the Centre for Social Justice. Ridiculous name, if you could imagine such a thing. But of course the Conservative Party love using essentially kind of Marxian ideas to bastardize concepts by using your opponent's language and reframing it to make it conservative, which is just ridiculous. And Stephen, and the response to this consultation was overwhelmingly negative, as reported. And Stephen Timms, MP for the Labour Party, said, well, we have our own plans and you'll see them in due course. And I'm like, oh, so you're not saying that, and you agree with anything that was said by the opposition to the consultation then? You're just going to see the public hate being monsters to the disabled, and you're just going to do it anyway. Brilliant, great, love it. Thanks, Labour.
Yeah.
And remember, of course, future viewers, when I upload this segment, if you voted for the Labour Party, this is what you voted for. Own it. Own that this is what you wanted. You got what you wanted. I hope you're happy with what you wanted.
Yeah, exactly. You can't really pretend that they had some sort of plan to be decent or honest or, well, anything really, because they didn't have plans for a great deal. It was kind of the mood music of privatisation and shittery behind it all. Because if you look at their manifesto, they didn't have policies. So what were you voting for? Vibes.
Change, apparently.
Yeah, well, welcome to your decade of vibes.
Hey there, if you enjoyed the video, make sure that you like and leave a comment. That helps the video out in the algorithm. If you subscribe and ring the bell, it'll let you know when I go live. I stream every day on YouTube and Twitch. You can also follow all of my socials down in the description. And if you want to support me in a more financial manner, there's a join button for membership to just 99p to be a member on YouTube, as well as a Patreon, and there's some merch there as well. And hopefully I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.